I'm Kelly Kerstetter, interviewing Jess Turner. Okay, so Jess, tell me about like your musical background.
Well, I grew up kind of in a musical family. My dad played the guitar since he was in high school. My mom sang, and then my brother, I think he was 12, he started playing the bass, and then he picked up guitar, and he joined the worship team at my church, and he kind of got me involved. When I was in 6th grade, I took up the piano, and I did talent shows in middle school, and then by my sophomore year, my brother got me involved with the worship team, and so I've been playing and doing that ever since.
Okay, so would you say that your family had like a heavy influence on like you getting into music?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there was always music going on. Like, your dad would go down in the basement, play drums or guitar, and like I remember sitting in the garage listening to him play the guitar. So yeah, there's definitely big influence.
Cool. Okay. And how old were you like exactly when you started playing piano?
In 6th grade, so whatever you said is like 12 maybe? No, it's not 12. I don't know. Yeah, 6th grade.
And did you take lessons ever?
I took a little bit of lessons, maybe a year. I think a little less than that. But then I kind of just started teaching myself after that.
Okay. So what was like that learning process like as in trying to teach yourself?
It was actually really interesting. I mean, I had from the lessons, I learned a lot. Like I learned the fingering process of the piano, and so I learned a little bit of how to read sheet music. So when I taught myself, I basically used YouTube, and I learned how to listen to music and be able to play it. So with that background, it kind of helped me, and it actually felt more accomplished.
So you feel like you learned more from like what you taught yourself?
I think so, because then it felt like more free to do what I wanted, and I could just listen to stuff and play it rather than just, I don't know. I felt like there wasn't any rules. That makes sense.
Yeah. Do you play any other musical instruments, or do you hope to learn to play any others?
I don't play any other musical instruments. I started to try and learn how to play the fiddle, and so I really do hope to learn that and guitar. I've wanted to learn the guitar forever, but I just never really got to it because I've been so busy with piano. But yeah, definitely want to learn those too.
Have you how does it feel like picking up another instrument and like trying to figure that out? Is it like really weird for you or?
It's kind of exciting because I like to learn new things, and especially if it's music, which is kind of my passion. And I think because I have a little bit of understanding already, musical background, it's a little easier. But it is weird when you pick up a guitar, the fingering is off because it's more the left hand, and I'm right-handed, so like being able to finger is still a little weird.
Okay. Yeah. Do you like read musical notes and everything like that too, or you just play by ear?
I don't read sheet music really. I mean, if I had time to kind of slowly look into it. I'm still like in that beginner stage, but I can read chords, and so through that I can read music. But then I can listen to it usually and play it, depending on how hard it is.
All right. Describe to me what your very first performance was like. So basically, the first time that you played music in front of people.
Okay, that was in 7th grade.
Okay.
And that was in front of my entire school. I was nervous, I was out of my mind nervous, and because I remember coming out of the back, and there's a little piano there. It wasn't even on stage, but there was probably like 500 people.
Wow.
And I had actually put together. I had learned songs. This was when I was taking piano lessons, and so I learned like the Star Wars theme song. I learned the Cerebrella song, and like a bunch of other theme songs, and I kind of put it together in a little medley. And it was at first it was really nerve-wracking, but then when I started going and I didn't look at anybody, I was so nervous. But it was actually after I left, I felt just really like inspired and excited to kind of try again.
Okay. And what would you say like the largest amount of people you performed in front of? Would it be like then or another time?
Let's see. I actually performed this past summer at Relay for Life. I'd say like probably at the most was around like 500, 600. I mean, I don't really know how many people were at Relay for Life. I couldn't really see them. The lights were out when I performed, but I know that there was a lot.
Okay. Tell me about your performance at Really for Life. What was that like? What did you perform?
That's probably one of my favorite performances, actually.
Okay.
And it had more meaning to me. I actually wrote a song about my grandma and my mom. I really wanted to sing with her, and so I wrote the song, I wrote the piano part, and I had her write the harmonies. So we practiced and everything, and then I don't know if you know anything about Relay for Life, but they have not glow stick ceremony, a luminary ceremony.
Mhm.
And so where I was at was in the center of the field, and you look up at the stadium, and they have hope written out with the luminary bags, and they turn out all the lights, so like everybody that was sitting in front of me, I couldn't see them, which was okay, because that would be more nerve-wracking, but once it started going, the only thing I could see was the words hope, and because I was singing a song about my grandma and my mom was there, it got kind of emotional, but it just, I don't know, I think that was one of the most meaningful moments to sing that, especially.
That's really good. And how does performing make you feel? Like,
this sounds really cheesy, but it makes me feel kind of alive, especially because most of the time I'm performing like with worship, so it's my passion really. So I don't know, I'm just so happy. I guess sounds really cheesy, but that's the truth.
Okay. And about how long would you say you have been performing for?
Well, I would say 6th grade, but my most experience was definitely when I started on the worship team, which was my sophomore year.
Okay.
So since then, probably.
Okay. And then about how many times would you say you have performed? Like, is that like too many times to count, or like were you ever at one point you're like regularly performing?
I mean, I would say there's too many times to count. I mean, I would play like probably twice a month. It would be every other week. A couple times it would be like I was the one that they was playing. But then like there's Christmas shows and everything, which are big. So I've probably done 4 Christmas shows, maybe.
Okay.
Which are big.
All right. Describe to me like what your personal music style is.
I don't really know how to explain it. I guess like bluesy, jazzy kind of like pop stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place. So just, I don't know. I'm not country, that's for sure. I'm not like hardcore rock or anything like that, but definitely just, I don't know.
Does like your piano style, like what you enjoy playing piano, differ from like your vocal style, or is that usually like one handed?
I think it goes hand in hand for sure.
Okay, cool. And like what other artists like have you been influenced by?
I like Sarah Bareilles, who's one of my favorites. I listened to her throughout middle school, and she's kind of my range anyways, and I think her style is a lot like my style, so if that helps explaining that. Yeah. And then, I like Adele, she's cool, and then, Ray Charles is actually kind of an inspiration too, because I saw his documentary, and I just think he's really cool. And then some worship leaders like Kim Walker and Jen Johnson, all those.
Cool. Do you write your own songs?
Yeah, I do. I have a whole book, and most of the time I don't finish them, but I do have a lot of finished songs for sure.
That's awesome. What is like the writing process like for
you? Sometimes I just come up with one idea, and I kind of just branch out from that, and I don't know, I think it kind of changes every time. It depends on what I'm writing about. Like the song for my grandma, I kind of got an idea from a coin that I think she got me when I was little, and it said, God grant me the serenity to change the things that I can, to accept the things that I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. So I wanted to make a line that resembled that meaning, and so from there I just kind of branched out. So
that's really cool. Do you remember the first song you wrote?
No. Well, I think when I got older, the first official song that I finished was I actually did perform at a talent show. It had a lot to do with like an ex-boyfriend, some friends, but then I always try to make it more positive at the end. Yeah. So, like no matter what it is, like I try to make it happy.
Okay, that's good.
I do.
Alright. And like, how would you say like your songwriting has like evolved over time? Like, in which ways? Do you feel like better about it as like the further you go along, or?
I would say that I'm definitely trying to push myself to think more outside the box. Because I noticed a pattern. Um, I noticed a pattern for a while that it was like kind of sticking to the same chords, sticking to the same lyrics and stuff. And so I think I have been trying to change that and be more creative for sure.
Cool. Okay. What is it about music and playing music that you enjoy most?
There's a couple different things.
Okay.
I think the ability to express myself. Like when I'm alone, it's like my time, and I like to express myself. And just when you play like one note a certain way, it just sounds awesome. Just the ability to make something, to create something, sounds awesome. But then one of my favorite moments, like when I'm on stage at my church, is being able to hear people like sing back. I know they're not singing to me, but like just to hear all the voices, I just love that.
That's awesome. Do you see yourself always having music as a significant part of your life?
Definitely. I think music can impact everybody, no matter what style you listen to. Like, I think it can impact a lot of people, and that's how I try.
Okay. And when was the last time you performed?
It's like on stage.
Yeah, and in general, even on stage or just in front of like a group of people, even.
Okay, well then, I didn't play piano, but we were just this past weekend. We just played with some friends in a living room, so I was singing there, which was awesome.
That's really cool. What type of venues have you performed in?
I performed at my school, my church, and then the high school stadium.
Okay, cool. And like, what's your favorite type of venue to perform in?
Probably my church, for sure. But I don't know. The Relay for Life was pretty exciting, but that was my only time I ever did that. But just anywhere where I feel like it can be impacted the most.
What about like your audience? Like, do you enjoy when you're performing? Like, what sort of connection do you feel like between you and like the audience when you perform?
That's not a hard question. I don't know. For the most part, I play for me. Like so. Every once in a while there's those moments where like I'll look out in the audience and like if I can just tell that they're feeling the music and I can just see that they're I don't know that they've got it.
Yeah.
That's when I feel I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, kind of thing. I don't know if that answered your question,
no, that's really good. And then like looking on the other side, is it just someone who enjoys music? What is it like for you, like when you're in the audience when you're watching someone perform?
Kind of like that's actually cool. People have asked me before, like, because I'm on the worship team, do you like it better on the stage or out in the audience? I'm like, well, I like to perform. Obviously, I feel like that's my way of worshiping, but it's always nice to be on the other side too. And I think it kind of goes with what I said earlier, that if you can just tell that you can just see that they feel the music, then it kind of is like my little inspiration too. Like you know that they're doing it right and they've got it.
Yeah, that's really good. Like what areas as a performer like do you want to like work on more and like progressing?
I really want to learn. I really do actually want to learn how to read sheet music for sure. And just kind of work on my skills to be more. I guess one thing I want to be more comfortable with performing in front of people because I still get really nervous. I mean, I've been on worship team. That part's not nervous. Sometimes I'm not get nervous, but I do kind of still, and I want to work on that for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this is my talent. I want to be able to share it somehow. And then I do kind of want to learn more about music theory for sure.
Okay. And one last question. Like, you definitely, as you said, like perform in settings where like it's worship, like which involves your faith, and then other times where it's just like your own personal performance. Like, describe to me like the differences to you, like performing those different settings.
Okay. For one thing, I think it's easy to make it about yourself when you're performing. So I try not to do that, especially when I'm worshiping, because that's not why I'm there. And then if I still like, even when I write a song, I try to make it so that if somebody listens to it, they'll get something out of it. But it does kind of like, for when I played in the talent shows and everything, it is kind of like that moment where you can. I try not to be prideful, but you do get like excited when people compliment you and everything. Like, okay, my words made sense to them somehow, and
Yeah.
that answered your question.
No, that's really good. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview with me.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I think that's all I have for now.